It's Maul, y'all.
Yeah, it is.
This is the dumbest name you've come up with so far. They just keep getting stupider. They just keep getting dumber.
Yeah.
I love it so much. Welcome to our Maul Shadow Lord after show.
Except this one is the before show.
This particular one is the before show. Usually how these little shows work is we do an episode before it starts. Just kind of like talking about our thoughts, expectations, all the things. And if you're listening to this, you may or may not be part of our Patreon. The rest of It's Maul, y'all will be Patreon exclusive, but this one goes out to everyone to give you a little taste of what it's like when we're recording in a slightly less formal format. It's still going to be really, really, really fun. Yeah, so I can't believe the show is premiering already.
I know.
I feel like we've known about it for so long, and it's here already. I feel like that happens a lot with Star Wars. It's like the buildup. I'll say this. I'm not an expert. I don't understand how Star Wars marketing works. It feels like there hasn't been like a ton of promo, but like I don't know if that's because like it's Star Wars and you don't need to go hard, or that's just how marketing these kinds of things works now in general. I just feel like it used to be like, maybe I'm going to sound like old and out of touch or whatever, but I feel like it used to be like months and months of like trailers and interviews and all these behind the scenes things. And now it's like you get like two things and the show premieres.
Yeah.
And it feels like
it's so much harder in this case because particularly, you're talking about an animated show on streaming.
Yeah, that too.
You're sort of on the kind of like lower rung of priority.
Right.
I think the much more shocking one, I'm still going to say, I think is Mando and Grogu.
Yeah. Like
it barely feels like they're doing anything. I know there's a sort of argument of like, it's still technically only, well, at the time that this comes out, that it's still technically only April and it's at the end of May.
Yeah.
And everybody has the attention span of a goldfish on the internet. I think there's some validity to that.
Yeah.
But also, Marvel did the Doomsday Chairs thing, last December? For a movie that's going to come out 12 months later?
Yeah.
Right? I buy that argument and I don't buy that argument.
Right. Well, it's like, are they also trying to promote Maul and kind of wait for that hype to not die down, but you know what I mean? Like, are they trying to promote one thing at a time? Oh, because, you know, like the closer we get to the movie, like everyone's going to be doing like the talk shows and all that stuff, but it's like, but now you do that like a week before stuff premieres, and it's like, I know with the attention span but it's so weird to me. It's just so weird to me. I don't get it.
It wouldn't be as weird potentially if this weren't the first Star Wars movie in 7 years in theaters.
Yeah.
It doesn't feel that way. It feels like it is just the next year and the next movie.
It really feels like
there's no urgency behind it.
It feels like it's just another season of Mando.
Yes.
That's exactly how they're treating it. Other than if you count like the Funko, for example.
Yeah.
Or like that kind of stuff. Like Funko is doing things in advance when normally it's not that way. It's the opposite.
Yeah.
For Star Wars.
Yeah. And I guess you give them credit the fact we were at Target yesterday at the time of recording and we saw Mando and Grogu Black Series figures.
Yeah.
Like that is like in this day and age, it is legitimately shocking to see particularly Star Wars toys for a property that has not yet aired.
Right. Exactly.
Usually it's like the TV show comes out and a year and a half later you get that Black Series of like whoever.
Right.
So I will, I guess, give them kudos for that.
I mean, I guess like you also have like the quote unquote prequel comic, even though like only one issue has come out.
Yeah.
As we're recording this, which is very good, by the way.
Yes.
And maybe we'll talk about that a little more in terms of like our expectations for the show or whatever. But it's not that they're not doing anything. It's just and I'm not even like criticizing it. I'm just honestly admitting that I don't understand how it works.
Yeah.
And I'm curious about that. I don't know what their strategy is.
Yeah.
And I don't know how different it is for Star Wars because it's Star Wars. You know what I mean?
Yeah. I mean, yeah. I think for me personally, like, in terms of the level of marketing promotion, like with Maul, like this kind of feels like this is about what I would expect.
Okay.
For what it is, it's other things where I'm a little bit more baffled.
Yeah.
About why does it barely feel like you care?
Right. I don't, because they can't just rely on the fact that Star Wars is going to bring in people because it's Star Wars. Like, it's got to be, you got to have a little more than that,
I
right?
feel like the last couple of years should have been proof against that hypothesis.
Right.
That the mere slapping on of Star Wars is not going to be the guarantee of, like, people locking in.
Right.
I guess not.
Yeah, I don't get it. But
Yeah.
if anyone out there is more knowledgeable on these things than me, I would love to learn more, but it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, so we're going to talk about the show, what we know of it so far, not much. I mean, like, as much as you should, going into the first episodes or whatever. Where do you want to start with this? I'm trying to think what's the best way to do it.
That's a great question.
Okay, so when this was first announced at Celebration in Japan in 24? 25?
Was it that far? I thought it was last year. So Japan, it would have been 25.
25.
Last year.
Okay. So when it was first announced and we first heard like we were going to get this, like what were your initial thoughts? And I guess like how are you feeling now? Like is there a difference? What's the comparison? Like as we've gotten closer, how have your feelings changed, if at all?
Let me see. Try to wind the clock back to almost a year ago. I think it was like April, May.
It was 25. Why does that feel so long ago?
And it feels like a very long time ago.
I guess that would make sense because it's 2 years, because next celebration is 27. Okay.
Yeah. I guess my initial reaction was Maul, really?
Yeah.
Something like that. I think that's how you can best sum it up.
Yeah. Yeah, for me, it was like, well, because did we know the time period then?
I think so.
Because, I think like I remember thinking like, oh, we're getting something else in the early Imperial era, especially animated, when we've gotten so much of around that time / like very adjacent to that time already. That was my initial thought. And like, I'll say that like I still am wondering about that, but I'm a little less skeptical just because like I do think that there is potential for them to tell a really good story regardless of when it's set in the timeline.
Yeah.
Like, as long as it's not like a copy paste of like other stories that we've gotten. And that, I mean, that's my worry with like the whole Jedi thing.
Yeah.
Is like, oh, are we going to get another Jedi who survived Order 66 and they're dealing with all this trauma? And like, I know they can do better than that.
Yeah.
And I believe that they can, and I'm hopeful for that. And like, it may not really be about that.
Right.
We don't know. But the first time I saw that part of it, I was like,
Right, yeah.
Right now, I am at the place of like, oh, I'm looking forward to seeing how they do this.
Yeah.
I'm not like worried. I'm not like, oh, I'm not going to like this. I'm just like, I'm very like, I don't know what to expect.
Yeah. No, but I mean, that reaction about that element in particular, I think is, one thing about the show, and I talked about this recently, is like, if you think about all the things that make it up, it's a lot of pieces that we've spent a lot of time with. So on the one hand, there's the titular Maul. We've had Clone Wars, we've had Rebels, we spent a lot of time with Maul. You have the early Empire. We've gotten a lot of storytelling in the early Empire the last couple of years. Jedi survives Order 66. We've gotten a lot of Jedi to survive Order 66 and gotten a lot of stories. The Underworld. We've gotten a lot of Underworld stories lately. So all of the pieces are things that if you go through the last 5-6 years of Star Wars, we've gotten variations on a theme in a bunch of different places.
Yeah.
So I think that sort of just instinctual anxiety that you feel of like, oh, okay, like we're seeing this again. We're seeing that again. We're seeing this other thing again. I think is like I think that's a valid sort of instinctual reaction now, because it's one that I have, and so I think there is that natural worry of like, okay, can we find the fresh take here, and what does it mean if maybe we can't?
I think like in that regard, if this were live action, I would be more worried. Because for me, live action trying to like do certain things, like, not that most of the shows haven't been really, really good, but I think like live action trying to tackle Maul would be like, oh, I don't know where this is going to go or how are they going to handle it. The fact that it's animation and these animated shows having such a good track record overall, I'm more confident that like they're gonna figure that they know what they're doing.
Yeah.
And with a lot of these animated shows, it's usually been, we get the premise, we get the title, we know what it's about, but we don't know what it's about. You know what I mean? Like, like Maul, Shadow Lord, like it's gonna be about Maul, but a lot of really good Star Wars stories are about a certain character, but also about a lot more than that.
Yeah. I mean, Bad Batch is like the example.
Yeah, exactly. And Bad Batch I liked it from the beginning.
Yeah.
I thought it was really good, and it just got better and better and better. And I still am sad that like they had to stop with 3 seasons. So that's, it is what it is. But yeah, that's why I'm landing on like, I'm curious, let's see what happens, because I really don't know. Animation, I trust it so much that like, oh yeah, we're getting something in the same time period, but what if it's just like different enough that it doesn't matter?
Yeah.
Like, because if it's more underworld stuff, like we have a lot of that, you're right. But like, how is the underworld reacting to the Empire?
Yes.
We don't have as much of that.
Yeah.
Because like, how does the underworld react when there's such a big shift in the galaxy in terms of like power and who is working with who and who they can trust and what everyone's end goals are?
Yeah.
We don't really have a ton of that. I mean, again, there's stuff here and there, and like we do get some of that like when this happens after Return of the Jedi, right? But like this kind of a shift, the way that it happens, I am very curious about like what they do with that.
Yeah, I agree.
That I think has the potential to be pretty interesting. I'm not interested in where the Jedi fits in with all this, because I just am not right now. That's not a story that I'm interested in, just because I feel like we've gotten that so many times, but we also don't really know much about that part of it.
Yeah.
We know that there's this character, and I'm trying to remember. I meant to watch the trailers before this, and I didn't, but we don't learn a lot.
Right.
About that part of it. So like maybe it could be interesting. What are your feelings? Like, I'm sure we've talked about this, but I don't like, maybe not in this particular context, but like, how do you feel about like so many Jedi having survived Order 66 in all the different stories that we've gotten? Because like, I'm kind of like mixed on it. Like, I think it's interesting and I like the different perspectives that we've gotten. But also, like, how many times is this going to happen that we're going to find out another Jedi survived?
Yeah. Okay, well, there's sort of 2 different questions in there.
Okay.
Of what you're saying. So one is, how do you feel about how many Jedi have survived Order 66?
Yeah.
So that's sort of a numerical question. And with that so far, I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
Because again, like you go back to the Kanan Jarrus line from Rebels, at Clone Wars, there are 10,000 Jedi.
Yeah.
If you imagine Order 66, like the night of Order 66, right, when Palpatine, let's say 99% are killed.
Yeah.
In those like 3 days, whatever, of Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
You're still left with, what is that math? 100 Jedi.
Yeah. And and that's how I feel about it too.
And that's assuming an initial success rate of 99%.
Yeah.
If you do 99.9%, you're down to 10, but we know that there's more than 10.
Yeah.
And I don't think we've even hit 100 known survivors.
Right.
So there's that question, which is you're feeling about this. Are there too many survivors? Mm-hmm. No.
Yeah.
Are there too many survivor stories is a different question.
Yeah.
Because that's a question about storytelling, right? Like, just because there is a gap, just because there is a blank page, doesn't mean there's a story worth telling, right? Like, there could be other Jedi survivors, but there just may not be doing story. Like, there may not just be other interesting stories to tell. We may have told all the possible stories, right?
Right.
So that's a different question of, like, the question of how many numerically survivors does it make sense? So far, I think it's perfectly reasonable that they have not wiped out 100% of Jedi in like 2 minutes, versus the question of, are we getting unique enough stories such as to justify keep focusing on every single one of the 100, 200, however many? And I think that remains to be seen. There is potential in the case, for example, with this Jedi, Devon. One thing that like we haven't much seen with yet is that her master is still alive and in the show. Now, that's something we haven't really gotten, because, like, Kanan, he's on his own. Depa gets killed. Ahsoka has left the Order, so that's not around. Cal, he's lost Jaro Tapal. So that could be a potential fruitful story of, like, you have this Jedi who's on the run. Her master is with her, too, but then she's got the push and pull of, like, her master and then potentially Maul, too. So, like, okay, that's a story we haven't quite gotten yet.
Yeah.
But yes, I think that's a valid question to ask of, like, how many variations on this theme can we do before all the songs sound the same?
Right. Well, and like there's, I'm not gonna say too much about it, and you sitting right next to me will probably understand why, but like there are the potential for some interesting stories of Jedi who survived but aren't Jedi anymore.
Yeah.
You know, who choose like a different path and are just doing other things.
Yes.
Like that we haven't really gotten, because like even with Kanan, like for a while he was just like chilling.
Yeah.
It's same with Cal, I guess, but then like it becomes like, oh, I still have my lightsaber, I'm still using the Force. Like,
yeah. They find their way back to the path.
And it's like, it's interesting to think about the Jedi for who that's not the case.
Yeah.
And I also didn't think about, like, because you think about, like, Clone Wars, Order 66, you think about the montage in Revenge of the Sith where, like, all the Jedi generals who are with their clones are shot down or whatever.
Yeah.
But you don't think about, like, the Jedi who aren't with clones at that time and are just, like, doing whatever mission.
Yeah, exactly.
And then they're like, oh, I just can't go back to Coruscant, I'll just kind of, like, figure it out. Like, you don't really think about that, I guess.
Yeah.
Because it cannot be, I know it's all fake in space, but it cannot be that every single Jedi is like fighting for their life when Order 66 happens. Like some of them are just like certainly on some random world doing nothing.
Right, yeah. They're doing other missions or something. Yes.
So
or
that's
they're like meditating or whatever.
Yeah. So that'll be interesting. No, but I am with you in that, like, the math does make sense where, like, or, you know, when you just had the movies, or when you just had like Revenge of the Sith, for example, and you think about how, like, oh, it looks like every single Jedi except for like 2 are gone. Like, that's just not the case. The galaxy's bigger than that. So yeah, I agree. That part of it is not a problem with me. I was just curious.
Yeah.
About because some people are like, did every Jedi survive? And like, no, there were a lot more than you think.
Yeah, no, that argument of like that numerical of there's too many of them or whatever. Right. Order 66 means nothing. No, it's like no, there's not a lot of Jedi relative to like the trillions and quadrillions of people in the galaxy, but there's still a lot of Jedi. It's like 10,000 is still a lot of people.
Well, and also like part of the whole like whichever Vader comic it was, Palpatine knew that it wasn't Order 66 wasn't going to get every single one, because part of like what Vader and the Inquisitors are for is going to find all the Jedi and Force sensitive people who they didn't get.
Yeah.
You know? So like he planned for that.
Right.
He's had a lot of time to plan for this.
Yes.
This man. Can you just like imagine like Palpatine has like his Chancellor schedule, and then he has this like secret like incognito browser like Sith schedule, and he's like, okay, this is my Sith time. I got a plan for like, okay, we're gonna do this Order 66 things. Okay, so what happens if we don't get all the Jedi? He's like,
yeah, he turns off the light in the Chancellor's office, and then the like there's like glow in the dark is like the Sidious plan.
I want to see more, like, because I know, like, some people are like, oh, we got a ton of Maul in Clone Wars. We got him in Rebels, too. Like, do we need, like, I want to see just, like, petty, pissed off Maul, just, like, I'm building my syndicate empire and getting revenge. Like,
I mean, that could be Maul Shadow Lord.
yes. And, like, I'm cool with that. Because Maul is still going to be Maul.
Yes.
Like, we're just, I think, just gonna actually see him doing more things as opposed to, like, because for the longest time, it's like, oh, at the end of Clone Wars, he flies off and whatever. And then we don't see him again until many years later in Rebels.
Yes.
And you're like, how?
Yeah.
Why?
I mean, we do see him at a point in between, which is we see him at the end of Solo.
Ah, yes. Yes,
Yeah.
yes.
So we know at that point that he's at the head of Crimson Dawn,
Yes.
and that's what is that? Maybe a decade before
it's
Rebels.
about 10 years. I think
It's about 10. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
like close around Kenobi time.
Right.
Those two.
Right.
And so then we know in that 10 years, something goes from he's head of Crimson Dawn to he's dicking around on Malachor.
Yeah. So eventually you might get all of that.
Yeah.
One way or another. I don't know. But I think this show just I expect to have a good time no matter what, but I am curious to see like what animation can do with like really good storytelling.
Mm-hmm.
Because that's, one of its strengths. What else? I'm trying to think. Is there anything that you're like, I really hope they do this? I mean, like, yeah.
Sort of. I think the big thing that I want is less like storytelling of like I want them to do this particular thing or I want this particular character to show up, but is that and this really comes from both the kind of promotional material and the one issue of Shadow of Maul that we've read, because that's the only issue that's out, is I really do hope that they lean hard into this kind of crime noir vibe.
Yeah.
Like, we get all these different stories of like Mando is like a Western in Star Wars, and Book of Boba Fett, you get The Godfather in Star Wars. Like, I really want like a 1920s, 1930s, like Al Capone, Untouchables, give me that of like these detectives and police are chasing down these like crime bosses and organizations, and they have to go down into the seedy underbellies of the cities and find these guys. Like, I want that.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Give me the whole season of that.
That's because that was my favorite part of the first issue of the comic that we got.
Yeah.
If you haven't read it, highly recommend. Because that's kind of like they're trying to figure out like what is going on, what is like the deeper connection to all this, and then just like Maul shows up, and you're like, oh man. Yeah, I do think like that. If they lean really hard into that, it could be really interesting. Listen, I have one wish and one wish only. You already know where I'm going with this. Can we see the Darksaber like one time? Like, he has it right now.
He does have it.
He has it. I mean, like, eventually it ends up just like chilling on Dathomir, but like, not yet. Like, I want to know that he just like, even if he's just like carrying it on his belt or whatever. Like, I need to know. Like,
I mean, there are Mandalorians in the show.
Yeah.
So it stands to reason that we could probably see it.
Oh yeah, because literally Vanessa Marshall is voicing whoever it is.
Rook Cass.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I totally forgot about that part of it.
Yeah.
Anyway, so that could be interesting. But like, I just want to see it because I mean, like, in Mando, in that part of the timeline, it's gone. So like, can we just like bring it? I just want to see it like one time.
Yeah. I feel like there's a decent chance that could happen.
If I see it one time, I'll be satisfied. I love the Darksaber, and like, story wise, it makes total sense that it got destroyed. Like, I'm not upset about it, but like, we're going backwards, okay? It's back. It's still here. Give it to me. Just a little bit.
Yeah, he doesn't have it in Siege of Mandalore, notably. Is that I don't remember what happens to it. I mean, I read Son of Dathomir, but it's been a minute. I don't think in that comic is when he stashes it on Dathomir, but I guess maybe he could have possibly.
Maybe.
Again, it's been a few years since I read that comic.
Have I read that one?
I think you have.
Ooh. Uh-oh. I need to read some more Maul stuff because there's some stuff in Legends Maul related that I haven't read yet. We're actually oh no, we just put up on the recently on the database we put up a couple Maul things like unintentionally.
Yeah. I put Maul Lockdown is on there, and then I think
there's that one episode adventure.
Yeah, the episode 1 adventures. Yeah.
Not on purpose, just
yeah.
Oh, I should make a list of all the Maul stories.
Yeah.
Maybe I'll have done that already.
Yeah, canon and Legends, because there's quite a few in both, but obviously especially in Legends.
And I've read one of the. I don't know if I've read Lockdown. There's another one.
Shadowhunter.
Is that the one I've read?
Yeah.
Whichever the Essential Legends.
Yeah.
One is, I think.
Again, Star Wars in their titles. You just gotta Maul, Shadow, something. Noun. Give us something.
It's kind of
Hunter, Lord.
It's kind of like the joke of like you can name a YA book very easily with the formula of this and that and whatever.
Yeah. A blank of blank and blank.
Yes.
Like there's your YA book title.
YA is my favorite genre, so like I'm allowed to make fun of it. Not genre, but like whatever. That's a whole other thing. What else? I just love Maul. Like since we've gotten him more in like animation, like he's just a great character. Him just being so mad all the time.
Yeah.
And like his stuff in Rebels is so good. So like to get almost like an earlier Maul being Maul, but like in a different time period where we haven't seen him really on screen. Looking forward to that for sure.
Me too.
I think it's going to be a really good show. And like, I don't think I'm going to be like super critical of it other than just like, talking about it because like we're getting more Star Wars animation and like I didn't know that was going to happen soon after Bad Batch ended.
Yeah.
But then we got this announcement and we were like, oh, there's another animated show. Like that is very exciting to me and I'm very grateful for that. Cuz who knows what the Star Wars streaming landscape's going to look like moving forward. We don't know.
Yeah, exactly.
We know it's hard to know. We were talking about last night on a different recording about how like the season 2 of Ahsoka might be the last live action show in Star Wars that we get on streaming or at all. Who knows? And that's just so weird to think about. But I'm really looking forward to this. I wish it wasn't all releasing quite so fast.
I know.
But at this point, there's nothing we can do about it. That's just how it's going to be. It's like Andor all over again.
Yeah, I mean, at least there's the consolation of it's 2 animated episodes a week, so you're talking about like 50, 60 minutes.
Yeah.
As opposed to here's 3 Andor episodes.
God.
They're each an hour long.
And I still need to rewatch that season just because we had to absorb it so fast watching so much. But anyway. I almost wish we would have done like, I know it didn't really matter, but like a Clone Wars rewatch. Or at least the Maul stuff.
Yeah.
Because that would have been, because his stuff is so good. But yeah, I guess we'll see how it goes. I mean, is there anything else you want to talk about? Anything else you've been wondering about, thinking about, looking forward to, not looking forward to? I don't know.
No, I don't think so. I feel like we've touched on a lot of the stuff.
Yeah.
I mean, as far as we can in an episode 0.
Right. I mean, yeah, that's really all we can say, not knowing any more about it. But I think that'll be it for now. In terms of release schedule on Patreon for these, we will keep you posted. We're not quite sure yet exactly how much later we're going to release the reactions, but probably as soon as possible.
Yeah.
So we'll let you know. And if you're not on our Patreon, head over there. $1 a month. If you join for April and May for this show, that's $2.
Yeah. You can get a sticker.
You get access to a lot of things.
Yeah, you do.
A lot of fun things because we just are silly over there.
We just got brand new stickers from a non-problematic sticker dealer.
Yay! We love that. I hope they're better. Like better quality. I mean, like they were fine, but like, I would be so satisfied if they were just like better all around. We'll see. Yeah. All right, I'm really looking forward to the show, and I'm looking forward to recording more. It's Maul, y'all.
Me too.
We'll see you soon.
Stay cool, people.